Well, you just heard him, Madison Nelson-Gira in the studio, as well as Robert Wanek Jr. Robert, welcome back to the studio. I was just telling Madison, I follow you on social media. You're a ton of fun to follow because you really love the sports of our region. I don't think I know somebody who really loves being in a ballpark or a gymnasium more than you do. You really celebrate that.
Well, you guys hit it on the head with the fall ball story with Maddie. You know, sports brings people together. You catch a fall ball, you give it to a kid, he gives it to a kid, and I think sports media is kind of my introduction to that and being a small part of that, and that's why I love it so much.
Okay, so guys, tell us about this. First, real quick, tell me about the previous documentary, which we had you on to talk about that, and then we'll get into your new piece.
Yeah, Boys of Summer was kind of the brainchild of Madison and myself, and I'd never met Maddie in person prior to this, and I'm like, this dude played for Wahpeton Post 20. Wahpeton Post 20 has an incredible team. Let me give him a call. Gave him a call. Turns out, he's now one of my best friends, and we kind of found out that we can work remotely, seamlessly together, and after that one, it was just kind of like what's next, and now 2 years later, on to girls basketball with the next one.
That first one, though, I mean, I came from journalism, but you don't, in journalism, it's 30 seconds, it's 2 minutes, but putting that together in an hour 45, we thought, oh, who's going to want to watch that? But after screening it, and now, on YouTube, it is on on our YouTube channel now too, and it's got almost 40,000 views now. And so,
wow.
And so, people are finding it and, comments on, man, this was an awesome watch. And I'm from Chicago and it's cool to watch this small town, whatever. And what a production value, stuff like that. And so that really kind of said, hey, we should keep doing this kind of thing. And that's what led to this.
Okay. Cowgirl Country. Am I right on that title?
Yes.
Cowgirl Country. Okay. So lay it out. What did you guys follow? What are we documenting?
So this Breckenridge Girls Basketball team down at Breckenridge High, just down Highway 75 here, they have 3 seniors this year that are some of the best players in the state of Minnesota. 2 of them have missed an entire season with torn ACLs, so they kind of get the gang back together for one ride. 2 years in a row, they lose in overtime in the section semifinals. The team hasn't made a state tournament in the history of the program, so it's like, this is the year. So I started following them in last June in Wisconsin Dells. So we kind of go to the Dells, we go to Target Center in Minneapolis, we go to the Sweet 16, and then we roll into just a gauntlet of Hardo Lakes, which for your FM listeners, they may have some familiarity with some of the teams in this. Perm, DGF, Hawley, Pelican Rapids, Frazee. It is just a treasure trove of regional talent, college basketball players, and of course, an opportunity to rewatch a high school girls season in cinematic 4K, which, that's one of the most exciting parts, kind of a first-of-its-kind thing. But we follow the Cowgirls from summer all the way to their first section championship appearance at Moorhead High School in a quarter century. And it's just a wild ride of adversity, losing, winning, just, everything that sports is about.
I imagine that while this is about a team, it's also about the community that surrounds the team, right? I can't think of Friday Night Lights, right? The fact that there are whole towns that shut down on one of these nights. When they go to watch the girls play basketball, the town shuts down.
Exactly, and it's, you're going through this, and we just viewed it for the first time a couple nights ago, and you really kind of see how the community is connected through basketball throughout the years. We've probably had over 40, players, former players, family members, Breckenridge alumni interviewed for this, and seeing, how Breckenridge was playing back in the day, back in the 70s and 80s. There's a lot of history there, and you also see, these lots of kids, I feel like, are almost starting to automatically be like media trained in this day and age. Before, you were lucky if you had a local reporter, maybe in the 2000s, like at a game, and you thought it was amazing that this person just asked you for comment. And now that there's social media everywhere, you really see how the girls respond to that, and how just professional, they are, and excited for sure too.
And so, Robert, these 3 main not characters, these 3 main subjects in there, right? So they're seniors. They were seniors just this last year. There's some emotion that ties into that as well, too, right? You've put on a high school career, and now odds are you're all going to go in different directions, but that was your first team that you felt could go all the way.
And they kind of started playing together at a very young age down at St. Mary's Catholic School. And, not to get out topic, but one of the subjects, and here's Sue Singleman. Sue Smith was their coach growing up, one of the greatest Cowgirls basketball players ever from the late 70s. She's interviewed frequently in the film. And the three seniors, Parker Yagi, a Miss Basketball candidate, 5', 6.5", and you can really get in depth with the players too. So she's 5', 6.5", averages 8.5 rebounds a game, likes to maybe push someone down to the ground, give a little side eye here and there. So they each have their player profiles, and then she's flanked by Jonica Bernatis, the school's all-time three-point leader, and Emily Gowan coming off a torn ACL, returning to the floor. So we kind of really get to dig into beyond the box score with those three.
It's also, I think, especially interesting because they're coming up at an era where the WNBA is just getting stronger all the time, right? It's becoming a house. These players are becoming household names. They're finally getting the just desserts that these athletes deserve. And so that also must be, because if you had made this 15, 20 years ago, this is just something fun that they're doing right now, and some of them might follow through to college. But some of these athletes have a real potential to go pro.
It's huge now with the WNBA, and how interesting it is to follow them and see. We went to the Target Center and they played a scrimmage, and it's like, hey, we're on the floor that the Lynx play, that the Wolves play, the Lynx play, and also talking about we're talking about local celebrities that are athletes. Sue Smith. Back when she played, they didn't have a 3-point line.
Played with a men's ball.
And share the Jingle Bell story. Why don't you?
Yeah, we're talking about how the girls love to celebrate now, so they'll throw the three over their face, shoot a bow and arrow. And, back in the day, you couldn't do that, so Sue had to get crafty. Apparently, she tied bells to her sneaker laces so that
in the 70s.
Every time she'd shoot a three, she'd go running down the court, and the student section would sing Jingle Bells. And by the second quarter, she was apparently taking her shoes off instead of getting to play.
Really?
Yeah. She's a heck of a character, I tell you that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the documentary, final tweaks are happening. I mean, any good filmmaker knows that until an audience sees it, the film is not done. And in fact, some people, even like Steven Spielberg, continue to change their films
Right.
even after they've been out for decades. But so let's talk about the screening, because it is coming up sooner than you would believe.
Yeah, Thursday night, Bremer Bank Theater on the campus of historic NDSCS, second oldest two-year college in America. They got brand new seats, 500-seat theater. We're going to open up the doors at 5:45, and then a special Q&A on the stage at 6:15 with Yagi, Gowan, and Bernatis, the three seniors, and a very special guest who just moved from Arizona to take the superintendent job at Wyndmere. It's 2001 Breckenridge Conference champion coach Tim Macklin, who will be in the film and answering questions, and then the current head coach, Tony Bogenreef, alongside Madison and I, moderated by Joe Schreiner of Three Borders Sports Network, and then the film will play at 7 p.m. Thursday night at NDSCS.
Okay, costs associated with this?
You just get your tickets at the door, $15.
Nice.
$10.
$10, sorry. $10.
For
Very,
KFJ
very
listeners,
economical.
$10.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love that, right? So bring a 20 and find a friend.
Exactly.
If people are curious too about gosh, I can't make it on Thursday, but I have to see this. Are you going to try and make other opportunities?
Yes, we are, and we have our own YouTube channel called the Cowgirl Country Film. We will be uploading to that immediately after the premiere. So if you weren't there, if you got family that maybe family live far away, or you're really interested but can't make it, it'll be uploaded there at least by the end of the weekend, and we'll be pushing that out on all of our socials.
What do you hope is the end game for this? Are you hoping that ESPN Films reaches out and picks it up? Do you take it to film festivals? What do you want to do with this?
Well, I think we just want to keep it rolling, being able to cover local sports in the way we've been able to. The first one we did at Wahpeton Daily News, made possible by clients and the excitement in the community. And now this one I'm doing as sports director at KBMW, and we're lucky to bring Maddie on to help with a lot of the features. And we just want to keep doing it. It doesn't matter where we do it, we want to do it. And ultimately, the main target audience is going to be, nobody's going to love it more than the community that it's made for and the players that are in it. It'd be great if it was, picked up on Hulu or something like that. But it's we like the idea of the communities around us being who's going to be the next team? What's going to be the next subject? and just really being able to dive in and give these kids an opportunity that, in Breckenridge, Wahpeton, they probably never thought was possible to have a feature-length film made on them. So we just want to be able to keep doing it, and hopefully this keeps moving the needle in that direction where there's another one on the docket next season.
I would also just implore the listeners, think about your town. What is a story that needs to be told? And it's like, we'd love to share that story. And this is something that we want to keep doing. We've already thought about what our next topic might be. But we're really open to our next project, and we need a little break after this. But yeah, we'll be jumping in again.
I mean, you kind of answer the question, right?
I mean, everybody listening, though, is coming up with a story from their own lives or their own town. You know that someone's listening that's like, oh, I wish someone would have documented this, or I know this is coming up, or this is a great story. I mean, even on KFGO, we're pitched all these great sports stories all the time. Like, every sports team goes through it, whatever that it is. But I if someone does want to reach out to you and sort of pitch you an idea, how do they do that?
Well, we both are pretty active on our Instagram accounts. Okay. Mine is Robert Wanek Reports at Gmail, giving them my email. That works too, at gmail.com. But it's Robert Wanek Reports. And I believe Maddie's is
mngmedia.co.
So if you search Madison Nelson-Gira or Robert Wanek on Instagram, shoot us a message because, we're kind of drawn to the edit like a moth to the flame. So there's not too many projects. We'll take them all on.
I mean, and that really is fantastic. And I'm sure when you hear it, right? Like you're like, oh, yep, this is it. I can feel it right now.
Yeah. And talking about the next project, it's a few things you can hear and you're like, oh, I know there's emotion there. There's a connection to the community there. And I know that these stories will want to be. I mean, you think about it. It's like, ESPN, they got the 30 for 30 documentary series. They're telling the stories of MLB and NFL, and that's great. And there's some great stories there. But what about your local place? And these documentaries will be up on YouTube forever,
So I just watched the movie The Replacements this weekend, which is one of my all-time favorite sports movies.
That's a Keanu Reeves flick?
Keanu Reeves, yeah.
So good.
And someone said, well, what makes this movie so good? And I said, it's because it's about the underdogs. Yeah. And who doesn't love the underdogs? The people that you expect nothing from and over-deliver on anything you could ever imagine.
Also,
right?
Quick Keanu Reeves, I was on my plane ride from North Carolina. I think I experienced a man right in front of me watch John Wick for the first time.
Really?
And I was there with him. I wasn't even watching my TV. I was like watching his TV and, the dog, no spoilers, but some tears started. Yeah. And I said, man, I think I just witnessed him watch John Wick for the first time.
Now, if I were on the radio and I said, hey, quick Keanu Reeves story for you. I'm on a flight and I think you should probably follow it up with, I think Keanu Reeves is sitting in front of me watching John Wick.
He cried at his own movie.
He might. He's that kind of a guy.
He was on Coach on his way to Fargo. He was in the back of the plane.
But he rides public transit.
Yeah, he does.
And people love that about him.
He would be the one.
Okay, Robert, Maddie, tell us one more time. If people want to go to the screening, let's give them the details.
Cowgirl Country, Thursday night at NDSCS inside the beautiful Bremer Bank Theater, nestled right in the middle of the campus. We will have $10 tickets at the door. You can also find tickets at kbmwnews.com. Doors open at 5:45, Q&A at 6:15, 7 o'clock. We're going to press play and hope you enjoy it as much as we enjoyed making it.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys for having us.
Keep making these great documentaries.
And we appreciate you having us on.
Hey, and Madison, will you give that pan back to your mom for us?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
If you're
thank
listening,
you so
Val,
much.
I have the rhubarb pan in my hand.
Yeah, and also a new tea towel, a JJ and Amy tea towel.
She's going to be so excited over this.
See what it says on there?
It says, in case of ope.
Isn't that great?
That's cute.
That's good.
It only took us 4 hours to come up with that phrase.
It wasn't that long.
Oh, trust me, it was. It felt like 2 days.
It was like 2 hours.